with the hold hands through this cast. All right. I'm going to ask the players if they're ready because we're in the lobby. And, okay, now you guys can see us. It's our first. It's our first. Together. That's the way to do it. So.
The map is going to be King Sejong Station.
Are you ready? I'm going to press go.
Press go, man.
We're on the way.
All right. And, yeah, the players are ready. We have started the countdown. So, shortly, we will be entering King Sejong Station.
We're entering the station.
We're entering the station of King Sejong.
We're going to find some StarCraft, I think.
I think so. And we'll see who reigns supreme.
Did we say who's playing? NesTea versus HerO, by the way. This is a cool match.
We did say that. It is a really good match.
Which HerO is your favorite?
CJ HerO.
I like CJ HerO too. Sorry, I guess sorry all the Team Liquid fans that are watching that happen to like HerO, but
yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. But this HerO is pretty good and pretty cool as well. So
yeah, so we're loaded into the game as you guys can see. Our first player in the top left position and our first ever open bracket broadcast here, at least for us. It's Liquid's HerO. Who we're getting towards the end of the loser bracket, right? Because I know HerO was knocked down by Lenok yesterday. His opponent, the red Zerg player, who probably won't be quite as crazy, it is NesTea.
I think that he will actually be kind of crazy. NesTea is one of the type of player that has never had ridiculous mechanics, but just his brain alone led him to so many victories early on in StarCraft 2. He has great understanding of the game. And I think to make it this far into the open bracket, just one match away from the championship bracket, he must have some tricks up his sleeve for this MLG. Yeah. I very much doubt we're going to see him play just a standard
Did you
game.
get a chance to watch HerO play any of his games yesterday?
I did not.
I was standing behind him when he played Lenok.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was... So I guess I'll try to describe it as fast as possible, but they were playing on this map, and HerO was in the bottom right, and he went to the top left. Like, he sent a really late probe scout because he opened with the Forge. He never scouted Lenok's base, but he went to the third, and there was a drone there. He pylon blocked, and 6 Lings ran in HerO's base, and he died. Like...
That was pretty anticlimactic.
I'm just saying he played some look at this. Okay, this is an aggressive play. Would you agree?
It definitely is, yes.
Do you agree or disagree? It's aggressive play.
Absolutely. But this is by NesTea, not by...
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's the Zerg, right?
It's
the Zerg being aggressive.
It's the Zerg being cray here.
Do you think he did this because it looked like he wanted the Nexus first?
I think he did this because he knows we're casting, so he was like, oh, Katz is casting, he's going to have something to say about this. But yeah, absolutely. He saw the pylon on the low ground. He saw no... anything on the high ground. So yeah, this is definitely a Nexus first. And what do you do against the Nexus first? Well, if there's no probe on the low ground, you might as well do what he's doing.
Yeah, I feel like this is really bad for the Protoss player for this to happen to you. But I guess he also pylon blocked the other base.
Yeah, at the same time he delays his own hatchery, so it's not the worst deal in the world. But now HerO actually overcommitting Nathanias. 2 cannons is absolutely 2 cannons is way too much. That hatchery is likely to be cancelled anyway.
Why do you think he thinks 1 cannon isn't enough? Like, if he only had 1 cannon, what would he be scared of?
I think he wants to force the cancel either way, but and then he will cancel one of his cannons, the one that's closest to the hatchery.
He knows that
this hatchery should be cancelled, and it's not. NesTea extremely gutsy here.
I think he just wants the creep to spread as much as it can. So
well, yeah, quite clearly, and I mean, given the circumstances, it's not the worst idea to have made 2 cannons. I'm very surprised that NesTea even tried to do this, and I'm even more surprised that he's trying to make a queen here because it's never gonna pop out. So he cancels that. Now
he's making Lings inside too.
Yeah, and that's a cute move. I mean, the cannons are gonna have a tough time denying the Lings entry. At least I think a couple of Lings should make it in. That probe is in a really good position to block the Lings. But NesTea, instead of attacking the rocks for now, he wants to try to go in, and he will. This was a little bit of a mistake by HerO. I think not just. I think if he just positioned the probe and held position, he would have at least killed a couple of Lings by forcing them to go around.
This has been pretty crazy. So these probes have to chase the Zerglings. He hasn't really killed much. He's only killed 1 worker so far this game. Now he gets the second one, but he's forcing the mining time to be lost, of course. There's no gas being mined by HerO. He hasn't started his natural. He doesn't have a cybernetics core. So he's really, he's really been slowed down. And NesTea's moving up to 3 bases. I like NesTea's position. Is he okay or?
Oh, he's in a fantastic position right now, actually. I think that NesTea was pretty smart to go for the pull first. I sometimes get a little bit greedy in this exact position and would go for something like a hatch first, even at the third, and then try to deny the cannon rush. And if you're able to do that, you pretty much win the game. But if you're not, then not only do you let your opponent back into the game, but you give him a slight edge potentially. So I like NesTea's response. He's playing it safe. He's being responsible adult with his decisions here, and I think it's working out pretty well for him so far.
Yeah, I really like this. I feel like, I don't play a crazy amount of Protoss, but this is so just frustrating, having to constantly move the probes back and forth, because it's like 5-6 workers that aren't mining at any given point in time. And Warp Gate's going to be really, really late.
Yeah. You at home watching, if you spot a hatchery as quick as NesTea's was, in this case, you might as well just pull like 6 probes instead, and then he wouldn't have even needed the second cannon at all. Yeah, if you can spot it early on, I think that 5 probes should do the job, but 6 probes if you want to be super safe or if you pull a little bit late. HerO just pulling 4 instead, and I think that kind of ended up hurting him a little bit more, because he has to deal with his lings now, and he had to deal with he had to make that extra cannon as well.
So he's going to get a robotics facility as a follow-up, HerO. He's also going to take basically all 4 gas. It feels like all 4 gas at once because his original gases were delayed so much, but with 4 gas, he could go for Immortal Sentry past this. NesTea, he's just now taking some of his gas, but he's almost saturated on 3 bases. He's got 44 drones.
Yeah,
he's moving up to 48.
His natural's not quite there yet, but he's working on it. Now, I do like the Robo. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Warp Prism coming out of HerO, but it might just be an Immortal follow-up. Oh, it is a Warp Prism. All right, so
if you in your expert prediction, why does he want the Warp Prism instead of going for an Immortal or an Observer?
Well, this is the kind of attack that will hit a little bit later regardless, right? Because his Cyber Core was slowed down and it's kind of an uncomfortable position. So it's unlikely that normal timings will work as well. And he doesn't know necessarily what position he's in 100% because this is such an awkward game for him. So with Warp Prism and potentially the sentries in it and trying to wall off the ramp, it doesn't really matter how many units NesTea has as long as he can get proper positioning.
Yeah, I guess as long as he doesn't lose the Warp Prism, it gets him scouting and he can put on pressure without needing to commit.
Yeah, it gives him it buys him a lot more time to get his extra gateways working without necessarily going all in, but still giving him an opening to potentially do a lot of damage and scout really well with his Warp Prism and the sentries, which he is now sending straight to NesTea's base. I think he's just going to go through the natural, shortest distance he can take. He doesn't want to risk being seen by Overlords. He's just saying, my Warp Prism will get there before your units get there. Can I do it? And we're about to find out. This probe gets picked off, and the Warp Prism is in the natural, actually.
Oh, he warps in some Zealots, so the force field, he wants to block the drones inside the mineral line. This is a really cool maneuver because the Queen's going to get blocked in. Behind this, he's going for double Stargate, so he can move into either heavy Void Ray or Phoenix production. And this is actually pretty interesting. HerO's, I like the, actually, I think you made a really great point because this Warp Prism, even if there was too much to defend, like, he wouldn't have to lose anything, and he saves all the units pretty much.
I like it as well. I mean, that puts him ahead by almost 400 minerals on the unit's lost tab, not to mention that mining time has been lost as well. Now he's scooting around to the main, see if he can get a force field. He's not going to be able to. Still drops the sentry, but we'll have to pick it up right after.
Yeah. This has been a cool little back and forth, and the robotics bay is coming in, so I mean, it looks like there's going to be Colossus tech coming out of HerO, but so far the double Stargate that he opened with is going to be used just for Phoenix, but if he tries to drop again, I don't think getting as much as he did the first attack.
Yeah, not quite as much. Taking a third now, trying to transition a little bit better. And yeah, he will be just going, it seems like, into Stargate Colossus. I'm surprised he's not making Void Rays, but hey, I mean, Phoenix kind of worked well as well. I don't think NesTea has spotted this, and he's actually making a Spire, so...
So what do you, like, if instead of going Void Ray, like, what does the Phoenix give him? Like, I guess there's just roaches. It's going to be hard to kill with Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. It accounts for muta switches, and it gives him a little bit more harass, which we can see he's very interested in doing. He's basically saying, I'm not sure, who's ahead in economy. I'm taking my third, but that's not going to be enough for me. He actually cancels the third as he sees that the army of NesTea is going to be much too big for him to handle. And with the Phoenix, he just basically wants to pick off drones, pick off Overlords, try and keep some sort of map control. And just, do what he can do to catch back up. NesTea taking a fourth, a little bit gutsy, but at the same, like, I don't think he needs it, seeing that he just denied the third. But at the same time, I don't think there's anything that can contest it currently. So.
All right. Well, these Phoenix are at least allowed to harass a reasonable bit. I'm starting to get worried when I look at just the way that HerO is set up, not being able to get that third base, because building off the Robo and those 2 Stargates at once is pretty expensive. And these rocks are going to get broken down. There's not really much defense on that side. The Immortal, I think those Immortals need to be back home.
Yeah, those Immortals definitely need to be there. The Void Rays are going to help a lot, especially with Force Shields. I think that HerO was hoping a few Roaches went up so that he could pick them up for free. But NesTea much too smart for that. And he's just going to back now. What NesTea might try to do is just apply pressure on both ends. And he's actually getting Pathogen Lens for the Infestors. I would not be surprised if he got Burrow. That's what I would do, and he seems to be playing this game.
If you can catch those air units from Burrow and you get a Fungal, then like they're all pretty much dead, right? If you've got your Queens close by. Yeah,
and that opens up the option for Mutas. You could go into Mutas with Fungal. Or even just if he goes for Burrowed Infestors and goes for an attack with Infested Terrans to support his Roaches. Because right now he's kind of okay on the ground. Not with those 3 Immortals anymore, actually.
Yeah, the Immortals are definitely... Like, this seems like a well-rounded out composition for HerO.
That should not happen, by the way.
The 2 Void Ray poke?
Yeah, the 2 Void Rays killing that 4th hatchery. I think he had a little bit more time to react to that. And that kind of equalizes things. It puts HerO on equal basis. He's been doing some great harassment with the Phoenix. And NesTea not in the position that he was just a few minutes ago.
I think like NesTea didn't really have too much creep spread towards that base either, so it made it a bit. I think because his Hydralisk is only just now coming out, he didn't really have the full resources I think he needed to stop that. But the Phoenix are still in poking, so I felt like HerO was behind very early in this game based on the way that the openers clash with each other, but. He's starting to get that army composition rounded out. I still feel like it's not as big as he wants. Well, I guess he's Fungal. That's going to help a lot.
Yeah, getting rid of those Phoenix is nice.
I mean, is HerO okay? Is he still in it? Or like, is this like a really tough spot for him to be in right now? You think?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I think he's definitely still in it. I think he was in a much worse position just a little bit ago when he had to cancel his third. But then NesTea didn't really make anything happen or any transition. And HerO did really well denying the 4th of NesTea with the Void Rays. Now losing those Phoenix is a little bit annoying, but they've really done their job. I mean, they lowered NesTea's drone count, and they're pretty much even on economy right now. So if HerO can just hold for a little bit longer, and his micro is excellent, plus most of NesTea's army is just Roaches, he should be in a pretty decent spot. I think it all comes down to this engagement.
I mean, a couple Void Rays, the 3 Immortals, you'd think it could hold off against Roaches, but NesTea's army is pretty big. He's maxed out. He's going to move in. There's the time we're placed preemptively. The first Fungal throws. It does hit the Immortal, so it's going to hold him in position. But yeah, those force fields actually look great.
Wow.
He's really holding this army back quite well. The Infested Terrans like all he has to fight against this.
Yeah, some of those Roaches are trapped. I'm not even sure where. They somehow were trapped in like a mini pixel that I didn't even know existed. But nice counterattack by HerO at the same time. And yeah, NesTea is going to get pushed back, and with that, he's going to lose the advantage as well. I mean, now he's on 4 base, yes, but he's not even saturated on the 4th base. HerO managed to defend that while attacking with a Warp Prism, which is quite remarkable. And now NesTea is going to pull back to a pretty bad position. Again, I think that engagement determines the tempo of the game, and it didn't go in NesTea's favor.
HerO's Time Warps were just so good to set himself up to make those force fields and basically put, as you said, the whole army into a couple of pixels. And all of a sudden, HerO looking really, really strong. And I'm not really sure what NesTea can do to stop this army. He's going to build Corruptors, but there's still... I mean, the Void Rays are going to help. The Void Ray, at least the Void Ray will help a lot with clearing the Corruptors, the Stalkers as well. This is a really tough spot for the Zerg, I think.
Yeah, and I think that HerO has kind of abused his clearly superior multitasking in this game quite well. NesTea got an advantage from his build. He got an advantage from really outthinking HerO a couple times during the game, but it's shaping up to not look quite as good for him now.
Now, moving forward, going to start to pick off the front lines of defense. 4 Colossi with the Void Rays, with the Phoenix. This is going to be such a hard army to stop. The first Fungal's going to get thrown at this army. A couple of Infested Terrans want to help hold it in place as well. And I mean, everything is just going in for NesTea, but HerO still has so many of his forces left over. The Roaches will all die. Only one of the Colossi gets killed before all the Corruptors die. And even with one Immortal alive, HerO is going to take this first game. And pretty solid game from HerO. I really thought, like, I always see this happen where the Zerg player drone scouts because they want a 15 hatch, but I never actually see them proxy hatch the Nexus firsting Protoss. Like, it almost never actually gets down.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do because usually the Protoss will drop the pylon and then stick around for the Nexus or go scout and bring the probe a little bit earlier. But HerO, trying to be as efficient as possible, doesn't bring the probe till the last possible second, and NesTea kind of took advantage of that.
Yeah, that's cool. Crazy game to see. The next map will be Habitation Station. But I think we could also get some crazy builds on. But we're going to have a short commercial break, guys, before the next game. So stay tuned. You're watching MLG Anaheim. Our first open bracket broadcasted match will resume just after this.
Catch my soul, lose my mind. You're the only trip I need. I'm losing control. Your eyes entice me. Just letting go.